This is the plaintiff, Elizabeth Sauce. She says she rented a room in the defendant's house, and it was like living in a horror film. Huge palmetto bugs, which are roaches, would come out of her drains, and there were German cockroaches in her freezer. If that wasn't bad enough, the septic tank overflowed into the backyard. The stench was horrible, and now that she's moved out, she wants her $800 security back. That's why she's suing. This is the defendant, Sherry Connor. She says the plaintiff's plumbing was separate and the woman stuffed up the system 3 times by flushing baby wipes. The woman's an entitled princess who thinks the world revolves around her. She's a pothead who smoked in the house and would scream at her kids at all hours of the day. Oh, her? No way. She's accused of treating a tenant terribly.
All parties, please raise your right hand. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Milian presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Saz, you are suing Ms. Connor for $800 plus your court costs because you've had to sue her to get your deposit back and you don't believe she has a right to keep it. Okay, tell me what happened.
So I rented from Mrs. Connor in December of 2020. For a while, everything was fine, no issues, never had, any sort of problems, never said one thing about any issues to each other. And then...
So this is where?
In Pompano Beach, Florida.
And you were paying how much?
$800 a month.
And what was it you were renting?
A studio apartment.
That's behind her house?
Yeah.
So she lives in that house and yours was a studio apartment behind? Mm-hmm. Okay, so go on.
So like I said, for a while, no issues, that I ever said to her. There was things that bothered me, but nothing that, whatever, that I really felt bringing up. Then in October, that's the first document I have of the sewage in the backyard overflooding. She tried to accuse me of flushing towels and baby wipes and diapers, which I never did, and there was never any evidence of that whatsoever, because obviously I never did. I don't even use toilet paper because I believe it's bad for the environment. But so anyway, so the sewage started overflowing in the yard every day. And where it is...
How did you know that it was sewage?
Well, the septic tank overflowing. You can smell and see.
You can smell it, right.
Oh, yeah. And the flies.
Okay. And what does she do about it?
For a very long time, nothing. She gets her ex-husband to try and do a router thing. They go to Home Depot and buy a thing, but does not ever fix the problem. Like I said, I took
How often does it back up?
Almost every single day, and every time the washing machine is used.
So she put these stones down. According to you, she put these stones down in order to,
I guess,
help with the drainage or whatever?
Yeah, when it was over flooding because the yard was flooding, I guess, so it wouldn't seem like so much water. See how at one point there was no stones, and then they went and bought stones to put down, but that's not fixing the problem. You're just throwing stones over puddles of sewage water.
So why didn't you move out?
So, because, this was ongoing so long, I'm not a rich person. I don't have a ton of money to move. And I thought she would fix the problem because we'd had a fine relationship up to this point. Nothing, not a problem, nothing. She said I was the best tenant she ever had. She begged me at one point even not to move out there when this was all happening.
Okay, so when do you decide to move?
So in March of this year, that's when I started.
Oh, so you stayed past the year lease?
So the lease had ended December of last year, so, I'm still all the way living till June of this year. And so, like I said, earlier this year, palmetto bugs started coming out of the drains. And I'm like, it's spring or, whatever, I understand. So I asked her when she had pest control, and I believe she stated either 3 to 5 years or perhaps never, but I'm thinking now she said maybe 3 to 5 years. I was freaking out. My mental health at this point, I was crying myself to sleep every night, begging
Time
her,
to get
begging
out.
her,
Sometimes
begging
it's just
her.
time to get out. So
Well,
you
I was
eventually
trying, I was
decide that you're
looking,
going to
but-
get out. Go ahead. Tell me how that goes.
When I had initially gave her the written notice that I wanted to leave after all the issues, she freaked out. She was screaming at me, and the police were called, and her ex-husband was
Police were called by whom?
my daughter's father, because he was there when it happened. He recorded a part of the incident.
Do you have the recording?
I believe that I do, yes.
Did you submit it into evidence?
No.
Okay, can I have that? While you're looking for that, I want to hear from you, Ms. Connor.
That would be nice.
You
Thank
kept her
you.
security deposit. Why did you keep her security
Are
deposit?
you kidding me? She basically...
No, I'm not kidding you. I'm inquiring and I'm asking you to testify.
She basically flushed baby wipes down constantly. I have never had a problem with my sewerage before she moved in.
What evidence do you have of that?
And I also have
Wait, stop,
Orkin.
stop. I just asked you a question. What evidence do you have that she constantly...
I have a witness.
Who is the
He-
witness?
he
I don't see a
pulled out-
witness. That's why I'm asking.
I don't know why they didn't let him in here.
Is there a witness in the courthouse that... Can I have him? Yep.
He pulled out so many baby wipes, and she said, "Oh my, I didn't know I couldn't flush baby wipes down."
Okay.
Everybody knows that.
Plaintiff says living in the defendant's house was like living in a horror movie because she had raw, smelly sewage in her front yard. Yuck. She was forced to move out and now can't, so she wants her money back. The defendant says the plaintiff stuffed up her septic system by constantly flushing baby wipes down the toilet, and everyone knows you shouldn't do that. Let's listen.
Come on in.
You're going to go right on the other side of her, sir, please.
She was astronomical on the overabundance. I mean, I have pictures of what a piggy mess
Right here.
she left my house. And I don't have bugs. I have a nice house. And anytime
You
she
can have a nice
raised
house
her
in Florida
voice-
and still have bugs. It's Florida.
Yeah, exactly. But,
Who is this your witness?
yes.
Yeah.
Let me just get you to raise your right hand, please. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, what are you a witness to? Can you not talk? I'm sorry, I don't know what you're doing, but don't talk in the middle of my trial when I'm talking to another witness. Go
I'm
ahead.
a witness to the fact that she flushed baby wipes down the toilet in the drain. And
So
that's
you
caused
saw that
all
when?
that.
Why are you a witness to that? How are you a witness to
I'm
that?
the one that had to go through her poop and everything to try to get it out of there.
I'm sorry, don't talk. What is going on here? Is this me or... Folks, I am asking questions of a witness, and I don't want anybody chicken necking or talking over it or talking to each other while I'm in the middle of it. I will ask questions of each witness as I see fit, when I see fit, in order to elicit the information that I'm trying to get. All right, let's try this again. Why were you there? What is your job or relationship to her that you were there picking through poop?
Well, I don't think my relationship's relevant, but
Okay, first of all, if I ask, you better believe it's relevant.
All right,
What is your relationship to her?
I'm her ex-husband.
Okay, great.
And my son lives there
Okay,
as well.
so are you a handyman or are you
Yes,
just
ma'am.
handy?
Handy at a lot of things. yes.
Handy at a lot of things. So she called you to do what?
No, actually, the plaintiff came and got me and crying on the porch.
Do you
saying-
live in that place?
I was living in the front, yes. Now
At the
I'm
time-
living in her apartment.
Okay, got it. All right, so you're living with your ex and your son.
Yes.
Okay, so she's complaining about the sewage
She
backup.
came
and-
running up crying, saying
Okay.
it was all blocked up.
Okay, so what do?
I went out there, I took out the clean out, which she took pictures of.
Who took pictures of?
Well, I seen them right there. That's a clean out.
That's the clean out?
Yeah.
Okay, is this a septic tank?
No, it
Okay.
works on the city.
It's all city water. Okay, so go on.
But it's very old. It's 70 years old, so it's got the steel pipes and everything.
Okay.
Or iron, I don't know what they're called, really.
Okay, go on.
And when she first came in, we explicitly told her, don't flush anything down the toilet except for the things that are supposed to go in the toilet paper. No women
Okay,
things.
so did you?
Oh, it was full. There was so many rags down there.
Of?
They were baby wipes.
Okay.
She had just had her baby.
Okay.
So it was fine up until that point. After that point, there was so many down there. Me and my son, I went and got my son for help. I probably got 3-4 dozen out, which is good.
Okay.
Because they didn't go down further.
Did you flush baby wipes? Put your phone down. Did you flush baby wipes down the toilet?
I never flushed any baby wipes down the toilet, not one time.
Did he ever show you, look at all this, these are baby wipes?
I believe the incident he's talking about, the first week I moved in, I accidentally flushed a paper towel, and that did overflow. That
Well,
happened
one paper
time.
towel's not gonna make it overflow.
One time, that did. That's how bad the septic system is. But after that, like I said, that was the first week I moved in. After that, nothing.
Do you have anything in writing that would buttress what he is saying that, you know, like, is there a text, emails, warnings, anything in writing?
Okay, no, I let her know, and she was standing there, and she said, oh my, I didn't know.
Okay, watch this. Did you do that?
I never flushed a baby
Okay,
wipe.
so
There's
so
no
that
way.
so here's my question: is there anything in writing between you guys, like you telling her, or, you know, warning her, giving her any written notice or anything like that? No, because she's standing in front
Just
of you. And you're
verbally, yeah.
Okay, so go. Okay, so
went-
you did not return the $800 security deposit because what?
Because
What
of
else?
that, and also she would leave the windows open with the air on, and it's Florida, it's 90 degrees, and she would leave all the windows open, and I said, it's in due consideration. You gotta close the windows. Whatever. So
With-
she
with
would
the
close
air
the window for 5 minutes and open it up and go smoke her pot outside, and then not really even care.
Yeah, but when her lease was over, you didn't tell her you got to go. You kept her. So if she was such a terrible tenant, why didn't you just tell her she had to go when her lease was over?
Because I kind of needed the money.
Okay.
And I thought she would listen.
Did
and
you
she
ever
would-
send her a letter when you kept the security deposit to tell her to
Yes.
delineate what? Okay. Can I see that letter? When did you send? This is
I never got
just a
any
second.
paper.
There's
I'm
not
sorry.
a question pending for you. When did you send this, Ms. Connor?
I sent it right after she moved out.
Okay, but I'm looking at ink on it. So what did you
That's
send
my
her?
copy.
Okay, so now prove that you sent that because she's saying she never got a copy of it. And also,
She called me right afterwards.
she called you right afterwards.
She called me and told me that she wanted
When did
her
she move
deposit
out?
back. I don't remember exactly.
When did you move out?
June 30th this year.
Okay. And you're telling me that the very next day you had estimates on plumbing, broken gate, single something, utility overuse for 11 months, because this is dated July 1st. I'm talking to you, Ms. Connor. You'll know I'm talking to you because I'm looking right
Well,
at you.
that's when I sent it to her.
So you already knew how much all that would cost?
Well, that was already
happened
old
previous-
stuff.
Stop.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
That was old stuff that I told her that she owed.
Okay, plumbing,
Before she moved
$300. Who
out.
did you pay $300? Can you show me proof that you paid $300 for plumbing?
No, it was a friend of mine that did the plumbing, and he did plumbing twice. And then I had somebody else, and it was
So
just
why-
cash only.
Okay. The tenant doesn't have to pay for plumbing repairs unless you're able to prove to me that it's the tenant's fault. Right now, I have your ex saying, I showed her a dozen baby wipes, and I have her saying that's not true.
Welcome back to the People's Court. I'm Harvey Levin. The plaintiff says she had cockroaches coming out of her drains, but the defendant would do nothing about it, so the plaintiff moved and wants her money back. Now, the defendant says that all of the problems in the house were caused by the plaintiff, so she's not returning anything. Let's see how the judge feels.
Do you have an independent party like the plumber saying that, you know, hey, this happened, it was from her pipes and nowhere else? Ms. Connor and only Ms. Connor, do you have that?
No, I don't.
Okay. Listen, you're not the first people to go to court. When you go to court, you prove the things. If you're trying to keep somebody's $800, a landlord has to do several things. Among them is notify them that you're keeping their money and why within a certain amount of time, and be able to prove that you did that, either return receipt requested or through email, whatever it is, mechanism. You've just got a piece of paper with writing on it that she says she never received. All right, let's put that to a side. Let's assume she received that in a timely fashion. Now let's talk about what reasons you have for keeping her $800, other than you want it and you need it. What reasons do you have for keeping her $800? And now you have to prove that. It says broken gate. Tell me about the gate.
She got like 3 deliveries a day, and she would get so mad because she couldn't open the gate. She would just slam it
When did you see her do that?
like 10 times.
Did you say anything to her when she did that?
He did.
What did you say to her when she did that?
I said, it's just a little gate. You shake it like that, she's going to break it further.
Okay, break it further because it was broken?
No.
Well, then why'd you say
It
further?
didn't open easy.
All right, so
can see it on the
single,
house, though.
what'd you say?
She was
She can screw up my house and it doesn't matter.
No, it does matter. You just have to prove it. All you got to do is show me pictures of what you're saying, because I got to make sure she screwed up your house. If she screwed up your house to the tune of $800, then she doesn't get to have her $800 back. All right, $275 for utility overuse?
Yeah,
Overuse. All right, that's the windows open with the, okay. And according to you, utilities were included?
You can see on the
$25 a
lease
month.
that-
Did she ever say to you, stop, close your windows?
Never.
How are you going to prove to me that you lost $275? Like, you can't just make it up. You have to be able to prove it to me. How are you going to
Ma'am,
prove to me that did you ever take pictures when her windows were open and warn her not to? You say you warned her
I
verbally.
didn't want to be petty.
So you didn't take a
I
picture?
said it to her.
What is being?
It was only $25 a month.
It doesn't matter. It's $25 a month for 11 months. It's $275 of her $800 security deposit.
Yeah.
All right? So, yeah, you got to prove it. So you got no proof of anything. $800 verdict for the plaintiff and your court costs.
Always wins.
So the plaintiff wins. She gets her $800 security deposit back from the defendant. Ms. Connor, let's see what she has to say. Ms. Connor, tell me what your reaction is to the judge's verdict.
Well, I'm really offended. I didn't feel like anybody heard me. I mean, it's just basic. You know what I mean? You say something.
Basic what?
She lied. That's it.
You know, when you come to court, you have to have proof.
Yeah,
and you didn't
but
have
I
any kind of
don't-
proof of anything.
Well, we didn't know we were coming to court, so we didn't keep proof.
Proof of what? You know what?
Well,
you have a
you're
friend
here.
do your work. You have a friend do the plumbing. I'm not rich. I don't have a lot of money. I just have
All
my
right, Ms.
friends
Connor.
do work.
You still
She's
had her
just a
security
princess.
deposit, and the point is,
Really?
the judge says you have to give it back to her.
Oh, pfft.
Okay, that's the rule, the law. Let's talk to the plaintiff now, Miss Sess. I'm sure she's relieved. Miss Sess, how you feeling?
I am very relieved, yes. I've been chasing her for a long time for this.
Are you in a better place now?
I am, yes. I believe justice was served. I'm so happy, yes.
Well, congratulations and good luck.
Well, Doug, in cases like this, the burden of proof is on the landlord. The landlord has to prove the tenant damaged the property. That's the only way the landlord can keep security.
I live in a common law state. I divorced many years ago, but recently, for financial reasons, moved back in with my former spouse, who refers to me as their spouse. Am I considered a common law spouse, even though we're divorced? Now, you talk about complicated
Oh, boy, wait a minute.
relationships.
So got married, so they know how to get married.
Okay,
they got
but they
married,
got
then got divorced.
Now they're
So they know how to
roommates.
get the paper and say I do and have the ceremony.
And then say,
they
"I
divorce.
don't," and get the divorce.
Right. And there's about 10 or 11 states that still recognize common law marriage, and we did away with it.
They scare me.
In Florida, they ended it in 1968.
It does, because like, what if you don't want to be married? That's
Right.
specifically why I didn't get married. Then all of a sudden you're married, and
Yeah.
half your stuff is gone. And
Well,
like, it's,
inevitably, the party, the spouse that wants to have a judge or a court recognize the common law marriage is the one who wants half of the house, half of the retirement, half of the insurance benefits.
in these states that do
half of the
allow
Social
common
Security.
law, that are common law property states, how long does you have to be?
There's a lot of misconceptions out there. A lot of people think, oh, it's got to be 7 years or it's got to be this or that. It could be 7 weeks. There's no hard and fast time at common law. It was just a judge is going to have to sit down and hear testimony and try to figure out, were they really married? Did they cohabit together for a long period of time?
They weren't married.
Did they
weren't
call
legally
each other husband and wife?
Right.
When they sent out greeting cards, they have the family pictures taken every year, stuff like
But
that.
that's
So when they filled out the ordinary, mundane little forms at the doctor's office or for insurance or other things, did they check the box that says married, or did they check the one that says single? Ah, yeah, single, boom. Did they file jointly on their taxes? All these different things.
Yeah.
A judge is going to dig into that and decide, are they really married again?
So a judge needs to take a microscope and look at the number of years, whether it's 7 weeks or 7 years
Right.
or 17 years,
Right.
and then go over their relationship for some, because we're so
Yes.
equipped
Yeah.
to do that. I mean,
No, but unfortunately, that's really what's going to happen.